CLK Black. We race 3 wrecks. And does the X6 have the X factor? Welcome to Top Gear Australia, the show that promises you the world and then only gives you Albury and a bit of Wodonga. Now, first up, Steve gets behind the wheel of the new Mercedes, the CLK Black, and he asks the question, once you've driven black, do you ever look back?
You could say it's the dawn of a new age for Mercedes. And here it is, the AMG CLK 63 Black Series. It's based on the regular CLK 63, but Mercedes tell us this is meant to be much, much more. The Black Series is a new range of cars that Mercedes-Benz want to use to convince us it can make something other than a lukewarm cup of cocoa. As I drive the Black, its 6.2 litre, 507 horsepower engine really becomes apparent. And it's pumped up like an East German weightlifter. The guards are wider, the wheels are bigger, and the suspension is stiff.
So you'd think this is the sort of thing that'd be right up my alley, right? Well, no. So the problem is, I just don't know where this car is meant to be at home. Driving around the country like this ain't exactly comfortable. My ass is now numb for a start, and I'm bouncing around like an old box trailer. Ordinarily, I really dig cars that are really focused on their job. They're really clear about what they want to be. But I get a feeling this thing's a bit cross-eyed. It's a bit too harsh to be a Grand Tourer. Definitely not nice as a city driver.
And it doesn't fall anywhere in between. Out here, I'm starting to wonder if Mercedes have betrayed things they're renowned for with all this race-bred intention. So, if the Black doesn't feel at home out here, then surely it'll be a different story out on the track. With the Black, Mercedes have gone out on a limb to create a car that looks and feels like you could race it.
And here lies the problem. It's just not that great a race car. I mean, you're constantly reminded that it weighs 1,800 odd kilos, especially through changes of direction like that. And the auto gearbox means that you never feel like it's doing what you want it to do, like that. Come on. When you do eventually get to second gear, you're having this amazing pitched battle between the electronics of the car and the tyres. The special race tyres it's got are great, but the chassis just doesn't allow you to explore them.
The CLK Black does have track presence, and the goods. Brakes the size of pizza pans, a pair of racing buckets, loads of carbon fibre, oh, and the mandatory horse brush. So maybe I'm being unfair. But let's consider the car the Black supposedly improves upon, the regular AMG CLK.
Okay, it's not quite as sharp as the Black, but you're getting 90% of the thrill for 100 grand less. And in this country where 103 k's an hour gets you a ticket, and not a whole lot more will actually get you car crushed into a cube, these track day specials are becoming much more important. This thing isn't obviously designed to do that job, but the black is getting close, and things like the Porsche GT3 really do need some competition. In the end, we all win. I'm just not convinced that is worth $100,000 more than this. I mean, your $100,000 is actually getting you 19 extra kilowatts of power, and it actually weighs 5 kilos more. So using that formula, a Commodore would be about $1 million.
I really did want to like the black, but it just kept missing the mark. It's so close to being a terrific track car, so frustrating. Then I put my finger on the problem. ESP off.
That's more like it. At least it doesn't feel like it's wearing a cardigan now. More like a brown corduroy race suit.
And whilst this helps, when it comes to competing with track stars like the GT3, the black still runs
Second.
Nice try, guys, but it's not quite there. At least you can throw it around and have a bit of a fang, though. Expensive fang.
All is forgiven, Mercedes.
Now, Stephen, call me sensitive, but I've got the feeling you're falling out of love with this thing a bit.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, the biggest problem with this car is you spend 300 grand on a, hardcore track special, and it's not going to beat things like a GT3 Porsche or a Ferrari Scuderia. Biggest problem with this thing is it's about nearly 400 kilos heavier than those cars, and biggest sin of all, you're going to hate this. It's got a proper auto. It's got a slush box.
Well, comfy, but I am going to hate it, you're right. But seriously, mate, I mean, it's got enough squirt to blow a dog off a chain. Surely it's all right.
Yeah, and it sounds really good too, but the biggest problem is mass to tyre ratio. It's too heavy for the tyres, so it's always going to lose to that competition.
And if that's not bad enough, now the black has to face the ultimate challenge. Some say his father used to race greyhounds when he was a kid, and he always beat them because he drove a V8 Monaro. Some believe that if you look inside the glove box of his car, you'll actually find a pair of gloves. But all we know is he's the Stig. Off the line, pretty good start there. This thing has got some serious squirt. Down into the question mark, on the brakes, as you'd want to be. Feeding the power on, fair bit of movement there. He's really got his head down. Clarkson Corner is coming up next. Critical corner. He's driving like you, Stephen. What a